I'm going to see if I can convince it to just pick stupid stuff. So I made a list called Random Things.
You know what? If you need more ideas, you can swap.
Ideas?
Yeah, for things to type into that. That's easy.
No, I have plenty to type into it. I'm just trying to get it to do silly stuff.
Well, that's easy. Just type a thing into it.
I am.
Yeah, well, this random stuff. It's not silly anymore.
I'm gonna see what it does. Let me try it a couple times, damn it. So random things. Dice, a Fritos bag, the back left wheel of a station wagon, golf tees, my favorite action figure, in parentheses, I don't have a favorite action figure. Page 37 of A Midsummer Night's Dream, porcupine quills, inedible cherries, a book of books, veal, and 2 petals from a dianthus flower. A book, one with a picture under it, called How to Make a Fire, a guide to your fun-filled Halloween, a fun and creative Christmas gift, an edible flower with the word lamb written on it, the name of a town, a small picture of a house. In conclusion, I don't think any things mentioned here are in any way harmful to your children. Also, we may not want to do things like this, but do let us know if someone will do what we don't want to do. It's also an opportunity to help us make changes and learn to trust each other. And I do have to say that for the love of God, do not take something from me. You will ruin it. If your children do decide to eat things like this, don't eat it. I don't know what that last part means. Here we go. 12. Muffin top. 13. A picture of a boy. 14. Doesn't even have a dot. It just stops. It just says the number 14 and that's it. 15. A baby face. 16. The back of a truck. 17. The front wheel of a car. 18. A flower from a tulip. 19. A picture of a cat. In parentheses, they don't let cats up at Disney parks. I don't know what that means. 20. An old black woman holding a baby. 21. A box of old books. 22. A bottle of wine. 23. A pile of empty water bottles. 24. A cardboard box with the words Wall Steez written on top of it. 25. A giant no door in your house sign. 1. The Park Disney World.
Easy experience. Easy television. Go, Adele's tie. Pick up the dart. Oh.
I've been considering what to do for a summer project, and these are the two I have come down to. A volcano. A real volcano, not one of those vinegar ones like Hip and Hop Koopa made. And
It says?
no, I wrote that in, even though that's not what they did.
I will show you the tower attack.
Look at me!
Oh, that's right. You kick them up the thing and spike them down.
You haven't seen it.
I remember you telling me about it. And a monorail system complete with dining car. A monorail is a huge monorail system with a few small stops along the way. This is my monorail system.
No, it's mine.
I had been considering this for some time. I am actually planning a real monorail system. A thing that interests me is how much more efficient it could be to design a monorail on the back end of the tramway rather than in the middle. I had considered a combination of both, a volcano and a monorail system, I guess, because that's what I said earlier. I just never have a good reason to do both yet. You can do it with a monorail or a few small stop systems and then some. But you were looking at a much larger monorail with many more stops to create all those lights. A few tiny stoplights make a huge difference. They're really very simple. I wanted to create a monorail. That's the plan in a nutshell. The design takes shape. This is the beginning. Here is the monorail design. A few small stoplights, a stop sign, a stop. Verrückt? That was the name of, an attraction at a water park one time where a guy died, yeah. Verrückt, V-U-R-U-T, which literally means insane.
Was he okay?
No. It was a little kid on a water slide.
Not that.
Yeah, and he got slammed into the fence and it killed him.
Of course he didn't die.
Yeah. Getting killed. But you're always talking about the ways you want to die.
Yeah, but not.
Oh, he just powdered his friend.
Sure.
Did it kill him?
No, it killed Roswell.
Oh, it killed Roswell.
Hey, it's in there.
Whoever's at the top does not do much damage.
Dark.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it's a spooky ghost.
When Miguel's tied is down below, he always misses. Because I made his dump stat.
Monorail was always... Wait,
What?
don't they have to learn spells by casting them?
They learn spells by level.
Oh no, they learn spells by leveling. The other one has to cast it once to learn it.
No, cast it until they get to the...
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna kill his chest. You got a gang axe. There's a video there, but he doesn't.
Monorail was always on the list for me. When someone suggested that we...
It says monorail is called a proper name.
Yes. When someone suggested that we spend another day trying it out, and I thought to myself that I would have better ideas for monorail if I would find something to do at home while my sister and I are out of town. It didn't take long before a thought came to me. What would we watch that summer? Would we watch Star Wars or something? Here are 3 alternatives I have had my eye recently. A car, a monorail system, a motorcycle. A
Not
car?
monorail system, a monorail.
Yeah. And system is capitalized. The word monorail is not. Even though it's been referring to monorail as if it is a proper noun the rest of the time. A car would fit me better than a monorail. The price would be much cheaper.
Don't say.
I could easily find a car to take me on monorail from point A to point B without spending $10,000 on an expensive car in my garage.
What are you talking about?
I think my friends and I could get away with it in a few weeks. If the opportunity presented itself to travel to point B in a monorail car like our friend and fellow writer Eric, we would be all set. I still don't know what on earth they were talking about, though. Did you strategically throw people where they wouldn't get hurt?
No.
Oh, because it looked like a whole bunch of them survived.
Fuck. Also, I didn't blow up all of the geosymbols at once. There were over 2 turns, so it was small. Hey, people get hurt. It's more money for the hospital. And we got the spirit muscle.
So you can upgrade Izzy.
Upgrade some.
Actually, you should upgrade Dark. Dark doesn't have a lot of hit points. He's a
we also
newbie.
have to, so we benefit less from.
Oh.
That's the thing. We have the next tier of fighter and premium.
What color is the second tier? Orange!
And red.
I can't benefit from being a Prinny, though. No, I mean for Kit. There's not really anything that overlaps with Prinny for Kit Kats.
I thought you were gonna be the dog monster.
That's what I was saying. I said they don't benefit in any way from being a Prinny.
Sources.
Alright, it just wrote me a story.
That's gross. Who wants to do that?
It could be in that vein. I have not read it yet. Shin really enjoys video games, but he's kind of a competitive person.
What?
I just put Shin really enjoys video games, and
Oh.
it just went from there.
I'm not that competitive, am I?
But he's kind of a competitive person.
No.
But if you watch his actions on screen, you can tell he's trying his best to win. He can't even play with other people for a day like this, Miroshi chuckled. I bet MA said something like that. And now he's gonna be on my team for a year, Utsumi said, smiling back. Apparently it's just part of some, like, slice of life manga, I don't know.
Apparently it's about me, though.
Yes.
Yay.
They passed an empty parking lot with several buildings nearby, mostly small but tidy ones. They looked at the buildings all at once, and then a woman stopped at a gas tank. Not a gas station, a gas tank.
Yeah, this is Captain.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Utsumi ran her hand through her hair and then stopped and stared at her curiously. She raised her hand and... The woman who stopped at the gas tank. She raised her hand and shook it. Then Utsumi said, "Do you like food?" "I don't mind," the woman replied. "I'm a little hungry myself, after all." "The other day, you mentioned you're not a fan of the food you ate for a long time," Utsumi said. "Can the others be considered you or someone else in the same situation?" "That's a good question, Utsumi."
God damn it. Oh, look, it's Senator Smartass.
Good. It depends on your definition of friend, Utsumi explained. "I guess I'm still kind of the same person as you are anyway, so I guess..."
I thought this story was about me. I'm tired of... I don't care about these people.
You don't care about Utsumi?
Oh, she's here. Something.
Alright, attempt number 2. Shin really enjoys video games. "Actually, since I grew up, I've spent a lot of time thinking about video games, and I actually played many of them as a kid," in quotes.
Why can't it stay about me?
I think it's like it's quoting you in an article interview right now. After meeting a friend in Japan in 2001, he went on to play video games until he was 9 years old, and he got and he got his first console ever.
I played them until I got my first... Oh, I played until I was 9.
So then he's...
This is like One of Aaron's childhood stories.
Yes. So then he's very protective of those games. And I think he thought, hey, I'm not letting that happen. What
No,
happened, I don't
I
know.
will never let
He told the Nine Network it didn't change his view of the world after he found out when he went on to become a TV personality for 9 years. I'm still the same person, he said. As a young man, I would watch movies and then I was no longer watching them.
That sounds like I would say. It's true. I'd watch movies and then I would no longer be watching them. I do that sometimes.
Since his early teens, after attending a school for people with autism, Mr. Show said he was always had a friend with him, who is the same person as before.
Who's Mr. Show?
I don't know. S-H-O-H. Yeah, Mr. S-H-O-H. And I never made them into my friends. I'd always say to them, come to Japan because I have some friends in Japan. Because they've got this different personality. He said Japan may have started out as a poor island. What? But then as soon as the Japanese government started investing in the country, people moved to develop their industries. His favorite... Yep.
I mean, I'm sure that's big.
Okay, now this one says Shin really enjoys video games, end quote. When I told someone that, I was struck by that comment because he is one of the guys responsible for building some of the most interesting games in gaming. Gears of War, the first Gears game, Metal Gear Solid, and The Order 1886, and Call of Duty, which he is overseeing.
I didn't.
So apparently you made a whole bunch of games with gear in the title.
And Call of Duty.
I'm
sorry.
I accidentally made all those games.
Rich, but it's a bad rich.
But it was a good bet that he wouldn't just let me ask him the question again. He simply took a deep breath and replied, I can tell. If gaming is like a film, the answer is that video games can give us insights into each other's past and present. That's because a game can provide us with the raw, unreported facts and figures in our lives that are usually hidden because gamers simply don't want to acknowledge them. That's why, in the late 1980s, Atari put out a documentary called The Game That Saved Video Games, where it's revealed that one of the first games made for the Super Nintendo was SimCity. SimCity was one of the first video games made for the Sega Genesis. And was so groundbreaking at the time that it made its way to the top of the charts in the UK and US as its counterpart on the Super Nintendo. And made its way to the top of the charts in Japan in a big way too, as the game captured the imagination and emotions of its Japanese audience so well. Yeah, SimCity. It catches the imagination of Japanese people. SimCity does.
It's very
Japanese.
We done there?
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I love SimCity.
This is strange. The monster we are waiting for should have found us by now.
Shh! He must not hear us. What sort of monster are we searching for?
This
It was unique to the swamp. It had better not be extinct already. How old are those legends?
4 minutes.
Have some patience, my dear princess. Do not worry.
Princess.
The monster will find us soon.
Zune. Brancess and Zune.
Oh, there it is. They have no eyes.
Oh yeah, it's the water demon.
Oh, like
Yeah, but it's called the water demon. Or aqua demon, yeah.
Aha! Look over there. That is what we are looking for. Or something that looks like that. Ah! There it is! No, stupid!
A new kind of monster?
Princess, we must run! Don't look back! Leave only your memories behind!
If Overlord Xenon is the one who kills him, then his death will have had meaning. But to be killed by a nameless monster in the pursuit of his life's goal would mean he had died in vain. And if he dies, Taro and Hanako will
I like
be
it
really
you just
sad.
kill it during the cutscene when they're talking. That'd be great. It's not gonna